President and First Lady and my fellow Toastmasters. It's very wonderful to speak to you on this very special Christmas themes, and can tell that everybody is in a Christmas mood. And what are Christmas about? Christmas about parties and gifts, and what parties about? Parties about clothes. So today I'm going to talk about someone from the fashion industry. My title is "We All Get Dressed for Bill." So first of all, let's look at this picture. So can you tell me what are all these pictures are? What are these pictures?
OOTDs.
Huh?
OOTDs.
What is OPPs? You can say that, but the point is that they are street photos, right? Do you all hear about street photos? Yeah, street photos. So is this a kind of new trend that people getting tired of the models on the runways and wearing extravagant clothes that normal people wouldn't buy? So there are some fashion bloggers. So they took pictures of the people on the street who dress very fancy and can have some, reference for normal people like us. So even before, nowadays we have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So these pictures are anywhere. So do you have any idea that before Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, when did the street photos begin? How did this trend begin?
Magazines. I started taking pictures of this.
Okay, let's move back to 30 or 40 years ago. Yes, see how this very old street photos in the 1970s, and these photos and the photos on the previous slides are all taken by one person who is the topic of mine today. So this is Bill Cunningham, the very first and innovator of street photographer. Bill Cunningham was born in 1929 in Boston, Massachusetts. He was very interested in women's clothes, and he went to every Sunday he went to church just to observe the hands of the ladies. And he went to Harvard, but just after one term he dropped. He said that, Harvard is definitely not my thing. So he went to New York and began work in the fashion industry. First as a journalist, and later he opened his own millionaire making ladies' hands because he got some investment. He got $1,000 investment from a rich family. So at that time, his clients included Marilyn Monroe. So he was kind of a little famous at that time. But in the early 50s, he was drafted to fight the Korean War. But his investors was not happy about him going to Korea fighting the war. But he felt that it was my responsibility to fight my country. So he quit his job and went to Korea to fight the war. And after that, after the war, he went back to New York. And he went back into the fashion industry, of course, but he didn't do the hands again. So gradually, he found that fashion is really on the streets, and he came up to this idea that you see all these people in the street, they all dress. Some of them are dressed beautifully, and he went to the strike. He went to all the hippies, yappies, and he took pictures of them. And he found that these people represent the true spirit of fashion. And so from the 1970s, he began to work as a photographer for the New York Times. And he began to take photos on the street from 1970s until now. He's 85 years now. He's still working on the street. So first of all, let us just take a look of his work. So it's 1987, 1987, 86, short tails, leggings, Ralph Lauren, 86. So you know Ralph Lauren just passed away this year earlier. He was a great designer. He was at the first fashion show of Ralph Lauren, and it was 96, 1987, the denim dress. You can tell that it was a kind of sense of old fashion. 94, the chain line kind of looks strange, the fashions 20 years ago. racing streak. If you're already in the 94, still 94, men in the skirts. So I'm going to stop for so ladies can have a better view. So 98, 90. So have you dressed? You made you're all kids at that time. So baggy pants. Maybe some of you had, or Daniel has it one. Do you have it on with this?
Yeah, I used to. Our homie.
Okay, so it's 08, so I don't know how you call it, but just stop it for a while. So you can see that he is really accomplished in the fashion industry, that he was recognized as a first street photo, which is very in trend now, and he was kind of a big figure in the fashion industry that people like getting photographed by him. So this phrase, "we all get dressed for Bill," is said by Anna Wintour. Do anybody know Anna Wintour?
Yes.
So who is she?
Vogue editor.
Yeah, she's a Vogue editor, American Vogue editor. He's a very powerful woman in the fashion industry. And she said, "we all get dressed for Bill because he is such an accomplished photographer that people feel feel flattered that Bill took a picture of me." So you can imagine that as such a wonderful, excellent photographer, he is already a celebrity now. So how you can imagine his everyday life is about? That he has a villa, a yacht, a fancy house. So let's just go to his house and have a look. So yeah, this is corridor very dark. His living room, cabinets. He kept all the photos he took, all for the past half century. And his bedroom is like this. The bathroom was outside and public. What did he usually have for lunch and dinner? $3, coffee and sandwich. So why is this so? Because he said that money is the cheapest thing on earth. Freedom is the most expensive. Before the 1970s, he was working for a magazine established by his friend. His pictures were on it, and the magazine catalog sold well. And his friend said, "Oh, Bill, came to collect your check. Your check was ready." So he came, and he took the check, and ceremonially he tore the check in front of his friend. He said, I don't work for money. I only work for myself. I took the pictures for myself because I like them. I like the beautiful clothes that the women wear." So you can imagine that when he was invited to all these glamorous evening events in New York, you can tell the fanciful, high society people, glamoring, flickering, sparkling jewelries, he was there taking pictures. He wouldn't take any food, even drink a glass of water on it, because he said, if I took something from others, the others have the right to tell me what to do and what not to do, and I don't want to be that. I take my own photo, and I take whatever I like. So one evening, his bicycle was part of his legendary. This is 29th bicycle. The previous 28s were all stolen and lost. And his blue jacket was also legendary because the blue jacket was worn by cleaners. It was only $20. But because he said, I took a camera with me, so I don't want the jackets were worn out by the cameras. So I just wear this blue jacket all the time. So this is him. Sometimes he was invited to Paris to record the fashion shows. So this is him in Paris, still in the fast restaurant, but in an upscale coffee shop, he said, took hard pills every day, but he's still working. So for all his work, he was decorated. He was decorated the officer of the Order of Arts and Letters by the French Minister of Culture. Because on that he said he who seeks beauty will find it. He thinks that he always says that whatever I do for the whole of my life, I just want to be myself. I just want to be an honest and straight person. And he said it was so hard in New York. And sometimes it was like Don Quixote fighting the windmills. And we can all tell that Don Quixote is enough of everybody. After I watched the documentary about him, it was called Bill Cunningham, New York. I was literally astonished because I was so amazed that there was such a person exist on earth that would devote his whole life to only single one cause that he truly loves. I found that he was, to some extent, the same kind of person with Steve Jobs. I believe that many of you may watched the speech by Steve Jobs at the Stanford University. And on that speech, Steve Jobs said, the only way to get satisfied by your job is to do whatever you love. If you haven't found it, just keep looking, don't settle down. And he also said that your time is limited. Don't be trapped by dogma. And unfortunately, I find that many Singaporeans, or even Chinese or Asian in general, are doing the opposite of what these people are doing. Because we are all told, to study hard, to go to a good school, to find a good job. The knife path was already there. And to be honest, there was nothing wrong with it. You can't, because you are just living the same life as billions of people on the planet are living. And that's why people like us are ordinary. And that's why people like Bill Cunningham are extraordinary. Sometimes people like to be say, oh, I want to be like Steve Jobs. I want to be like Bill Gates. I want to be like Mark Zuckerberg. Because why? Is it because you think they are talented, they are hardworking, or is it just because they are rich, they are powerful, they are running a multinational company that, in a conventional definition of success, they fall into that category? Do you want to be a person like Bill Cunningham, who simply follow his heart, but rejecting the money? Because only thing I think he himself rejected the money. Because you think about it, how easy it is for him to earn the money. He was such an experienced, accomplished photographer. He just need to sell his photos, publish some books, go to some shows, being a celebrity. The money comes easily, but he chose not. And sometimes you often hear people say, oh, I love music, but daddy told me to start business. Also, I have to start business, so I'm doing business now. But I think, my boss is a bitch, and my job is so boring. But do you know what? Steve Jobs said, have the courage to follow your heart and your institutions. But unfortunately, you don't have it. What you have is your choice. But today, I could not tell you that follow your heart and you will be successful, because it's not true. The most chances are, if you follow your dream, you will end up penniless, nameless, in a shabby house. So I will just end my speech with a quote from my favorite movies. From the Leo, that Matilda asked Leo, is life always this hard, or is it when you just keep? So, what was Leo's answer? Leo turned away, think about well, and answered, always like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is all yours. But since it's Christmas, I guess, since I'm already out of time, so it doesn't matter. So I guess I can show you how Bill Cunningham, his Christmas report, fashion report from Bill Cunningham.
Hello, this is Bill Cunningham, and the holiday spirit is drenching the city. Down on Union Square, Farmers Market, big success of the red herrings, along with the Salvation Army, bell ringing, red kettle people have moved into the electronic age with music that has the passerbys dancing on the sidewalk. Oh, wonderful. The fashion is red and black. Everywhere I see it. Wonderful. In setting the tone, the Robert, Indiana, West Side sculptures, hope and love. Wonderful. Red and red. Just set.
Okay, let's stop there. If you are interested in him, you just go to New York Times, and he has a column there with all his fashion photography.